Alrighty, so another weapon choice video, and this one has been debated on forums and YouTube videos for a very long time in the Warframe community. I put off doing this video simply because Melee 2.0 hadn't hit and I was waiting for it, and it is between two sets of weapons that are very similar in a lot of ways. So, the dual Zoren and the dual Ichor, this is your choice for this video. Which one would you choose if you had a choice, or which is your favourite weapon? Whether you like them for their aesthetic looks, for their damage output, or even just for their Roflcopter and the way you can slingshot yourself across missions as fast as possible. So I ran a few Void Exterminates and Survivals with both sets of these weapons. I did mod them up nearly the exact same way, with corrosive damage and as high of a crit chance and multiplier as I could get, which turned out to be a 40% crit and a 5.7 multiplier. The only difference was that my Ichors have 3 Forma and my Zorens have none, so I had a little bit more mod capacity for my dual Ichors, but the Zorens, to be honest with you, were absolutely amazing and just fought toe to toe with the dual Ichors throughout each of the mission. Now I'll talk a little bit about both and tell you which of these weapons I prefer and why. Mastery rank of course is going to play a very huge factor in which of these weapons you choose, because the Zorens are only mastery rank 2, which you can get really early, and the dual Ichors are mastery rank 6, so you will need to level up to mastery rank 6, then you will need to make sure they're researched in your dojo if they're not already, and then you will need to build them. And as I said, the thing about both sets of these weapons is how very close they are stat wise. Both have a basic crit chance of 25% and a crit multiplier of 300%, ideal for building these things in a crit build. Their attack speed is nose to nose, so both of these are really fast weapons. They also both have incredible slide damage, and they allow for a lot of slingshots through missions, so you can get through missions a lot faster by fighting yourself across the map basically. They also share the same stance polarity, which is ideal for Swirling Tiger, which is absolutely awesome. The difference between the two are in the base damage output, the damage type, and a little bit of status chance. So where the Zorens deal 30 base damage, most of which is slash damage, making it ideal for infested or anything fleshy. They can also hit multiple targets. The Zorens also come with a D polarity slot, which isn't much of a problem now with the stance mods, which give you that little bit more of mod capacity, which allows you to basically stick any mod you want into that D slot. And the Zorens only have a 5% status chance, whereas the dual Ichors have a 10% status chance. So you're not really going to build either of these weapons in a status build. And as for building the actual dual Zorens, you don't need a whole lot. The blueprint will cost you 15,000 credits, and the build itself will cost you 30,000 credits. With a 12-hour build time, you will also need to farm some resources like Morphix, Ally Plate, and so on. So, where the Zorens deal 30 base damage, the dual Ichors deal 35 toxic damage as its base damage. So it is a slight increase on the damage output compared to the Zorens, but the toxic damage will deal bonus damage to flesh and ferrite armor, like your heavy Grineer gunners, your lancers, your butchers, and so on. So they are really good against Grineer. They are also really good against Corpus due to the fact that you don't necessarily need to run with a magnetic build, due to the fact that the toxic damage will go right past the shields and ignore them and start taking off the health of the Corpus. But the toxic damage also deals less damage to robotic targets like your Moes, your Ospreys, your bosses like Ambulus, the Jackal. Basically anything that looks and moves like a robot will take 25% less damage from the dual Ichors. And there was a time that this was a little bit bugged, where the damage wasn't registering through shields on Moes and all that, but that has been fixed, and the slight damage loss against robotics isn't really noticeable to the extent that you wouldn't bring them on a Corpus mission. Now, to build the dual Ichors, you will need to have them researched, like I said, in your biolab of your dojo, which takes 72 hours to research and a shit ton of resources as well. And then to build the actual weapons themselves, the blueprints will cost 50,000 credits, and the build cost is also 30,000 credits. You will also need 4 mutagen mass, a Forma, some circuits, and a shit ton of salvage. The build time for the dual Ichors is 24 hours. And now, like I said at the start, the two biggest points between these weapons is probably the mastery level. The Zorens are amazing weapons for mastery rank 2, and if you enjoy them, then the dual Ichors should be what you're looking to aim for once you outgrow your dual Zorens and hit the required mastery rank for the dual Ichors. Don't get me wrong, the Zorens are great weapons, but at the minute the dual Ichors are easily one of the best weapons in the game and should be on everyone's to get list. They are my weapon of choice behind my Dragon Arcana. Between the Zorens and the Ichors, I would always choose the dual Ichors, simply because I have them Forma to hell and my Zorens I don't. But this is my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of you guys will have a difference of opinion, which is what's so great about Warframe and its community. What suits my playstyle won't necessarily suit yours. But let me know in the comment section below, which of these two is your weapon of choice? Which do you prefer to run with? Like I said, whether it's for the looks, for the slingshot capability across each mission to fire you from room to room, or whether it's for the damage output. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed the video, as it really helps me out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and as always guys, thanks very much for watching.